He's a party in the past. I can't wait to talk about this, y'all. Y'all, it's so much going on in Chicago. Did you hear about that Dexter Reed stuff that's going on with the settlement? Y'all, all this distraction. Y'all, I'm just watching all this stuff go down while we're distracted. It's crazy. Hey y'all. Ooh. Hey, how y'all doing? Welcome to Burgundy Blue Commentary. We talk about what we want to talk about when we're ready to talk about it. And y'all, I had an amazing day. I want to just say today, for you guys that follow the Dalton content, it's the first day of early voting. So I want to make sure that you know that you can vote at Calumet City. You can vote at Calumet City Public Library for the Dalton election, and you also can vote at South Suburban College. Okay, and it's a beautiful day. It's a beautiful day. I had a great day today. Like I can't complain. It's always a blessing when you have those good days. You know what I mean? And you have nothing to complain about. So I'm praying for everybody. It's the time of year where it's that seasonal stuff going on. Make sure that you get out, get a walk, get a walk in, spend some time, go hug somebody, compliment somebody, enjoy your day, go get you some coffee, and just get out. Don't let that seasonal stuff creep up on you. All right, you guys, we're over here to talk about Rob Blagojevich. Now, I don't know much about politics, but your girl know about reality show, and your girl know about Illinois. Okay, born and raised in Illinois, but The Apprentice, he was on the Celebrity Apprentice, right? But he went to jail, y'all. Like, how many Illinois governors went to jail? So we're gonna talk about that for those that are just creeping into the world of Illinois, the Southland, Dalton, stuff like that. Don't Rob Blagojevich, he wasn't coming to no Dalton, y'all. I'm just letting you know. But Jimmy Carter did. So check out my video on that on my page. Jimmy Carter did come to Dalton. President Carter came to Dalton. And you guys, we have a $20 goal, live stream goal. I have to stay on task, like my mentor told me. We don't really get monetized for a lot of when we talk in politics, and we have to use these clips. So we do have a $20 goal for YouTube. I'm not a huge YouTuber. You guys don't have to give me anything. That's just for people that want to support and can. You guys, other than that, hit the video because this is going to be fun. But Y'all, have you noticed how quick? Hey, Brandon, how quick that this did you hear about this, Brandon? How quick this got done. It was like I was setting up my live stream, and this morning I heard the whispers that they were saying that Trump was going to pardon Blagojevich. That means like his sins are wiped clean. We're going to read a little bit from NPR. By the time I told y'all I was going live and set it up, he was already clear. He was and Rob Blagojevich was on WBBM this morning. And we're going to even take it back. We're going to take it back to the Obama days, because remember, this is what happened, y'all. You got to go back to the beginning. Remember that he got caught on that hot mic, if you will. He got somebody recorded a phone call, and he was convicted, right, of selling Obama's Senate seat. So that's when Obama was Senator Obama, and he was on the road to the White House. Our governor was like, hey, highest bidder. And y'all don't beat me up, but Jesse got caught up in the mess, and everybody got caught. All this stuff in Illinois is just icky. It's a cruel, cold world in Illinois politics. I don't think any other place is close. Maybe Detroit, maybe Michigan, maybe New York. I'm not sure. Is anyone close to Illinois politics? I don't know. So anyway, they did that fast. So now y'all know who's looking in on a Tiffany Henry saga. They can do what they want to do when they want to do it. They can do what they want to do when they want to do it. Okay? Just so you know, they can do it. And so I know Patty is super happy. So Patty is Rod's wife. And she was all, when Obama left office, baby, she was on his buns about getting Blagojevich out of jail. Then she went over to Biden and tried to get Blagojevich out of jail, right? But no, you got to go with Trump. And if I'm not, wait a minute, wasn't Rob Blagojevich a Democrat? Can anybody? This one I need Gardis and Big Mike to jump in. Brandon, do you know anything about? Let me look it up. Was he a Democrat? Because all of them went to jail. What was he? Let me look it up. I know Patty happy. Patty was. I could have sworn Blagojevich, he was a Democrat. Thank you, Brandon. I knew I could count on you. So y'all, this is not funny because we're supposed to trust our politicians, but Blagojevich, no, he was a mess. I think they even had a short about him on Netflix. We're gonna have to do like a watch along. Blagojevich was a mess, and so let's get to it, because y'all, I'm cracking up already because he knew he know he was wrong. He know he was wrong. And it was some about his thank you. Yes, we're gonna talk about Patty Winky. The Netflix thing, they basically said allegedly that Blagojevich got with his wife because his dad. Wait a minute, Patty, what was her name? She's not a Madigan. Who is let me go to it. Who was Patty? Was she no, she wasn't it was something. She was, her dad was Richard Mail, an alderman. Okay. And then her sister served with the Illinois State of Representatives. So Patty was like, Richard Mail. Let's talk about him. Now, he was in Chicago City Council from 1975 to 2013. Okay? That's how long. He was in the council wars. Remember, we talked about that when Badoriak, I always get that name incorrect, but he was involved in the council wars. when they were against Harold Washington. And remember, they shut themselves up in that hole in the city hall. Like, they hurried up after Harold Washington passed away to try to pull. They knew they needed a black mayor, but they needed somebody that they could control. Really interesting. And Netflix did a special on him, but they said that, Blagojevich knew Patty was the key. Like, he found it. He did, like, my favorite one is like when they go to jail and then they hurry up and transform. But I guess you find God where you gotta find it, or you find religion where you find it. Blagojevich, no, he was something else. Okay, so let's get to it, because I swear every time I hear, because he was a character by himself for him to be a politician, right? Like, he was a real character. Now let's watch what CBS was reporting. This, I didn't even hit refresh. This is what they said was going to happen, and we're going to see what happened 15 minutes after that.
CBS News citing sources saying former Illinois Governor Rod Blagojevich will be formally pardoned by President Trump. The news coming ahead of rumblings Blagojevich may be named ambassador to Serbia.
CBS News political reporter Chris Ty here now with how this may play out for the federally convicted Blagojevich, who was impeached, as we know, as Illinois governor. Chris?
Joe and Erica, we're waiting formal word from the White House any minute now. If it happens, it would be the latest in a sequence of favors President Trump has done for Rod Blagojevich and set up a possible political second act.
Well, I mean, the only thing I'll say is I don't think it's appropriate for me to comment about any rumors that are swirling around. I think, except to say one thing, that I'll always be profoundly grateful to President Trump for everything he's done for me and for my family.
That's the former governor late today telling WBBM News Radio what he's thinking ahead of a possible pardon tonight. In the hours before reporting to prison, Rod Blagojevich mentioned Donald Trump.
I got fired by Donald Trump. Yeah. This thing I got to do now is worse.
Referencing his stint on The Celebrity Apprentice, President Trump's old reality show.
I got to say, you have a lot of guts.
Blagojevich, who was originally sentenced to 14 years in prison on corruption charges for attempting to sell Barack Obama's U.S. Senate seat after he won the White House in 2008, only served 8 of those years because his sentence was commuted in February 2020 during Mr. Trump's first term.
I've got 10,000 reasons to be thankful to President Trump.
Now, the Blagojevich-Trump relationship takes an altogether new turn,
I appreciate that.
as Trump appears ready to elevate the favor from commuting his sentence to a full pardon. Legally, a pardon is official forgiveness, removing most of the legal consequences of the criminal conviction. In the days after his release, he told our Dana Kozlov what he thinks set his legal matters into motion.
I was sent to prison for practicing politics.
Today's news sets in motion a possible political revival. While he remains barred from holding elected office in Illinois after his impeachment from office, word now he could be named ambassador to Serbia in the new Trump White House. In 1999, Blagojevich, who has Serbian roots, joined the Reverend Jesse Jackson, as Jackson helped broker the release of 3 American prisoners in Serbia. Now, 26 years and a political lifetime later, he may be dispatched back to the region of his ancestors by the man who released him from prison early. As the Rod Blagojevich story takes another unexpected turn. Blagojevich, you may recall, filed a federal lawsuit claiming his removal from office by the Illinois Senate following his 2009 impeachment trial was unconstitutional. That precludes him from running for state or local elected office in Illinois again. A judge rejected that legal effort by Blagojevich. So, what this possible pardon means for his electability moving forward, that remains unclear tonight. Live in the newsroom, Chris Tide, CBS News, Chicago.
Chris, thank you.
Y'all, he gonna be right back. He gonna be right back. He gonna be in the White House. He gonna be running stuff in Illinois. Blagojevich is gonna be right back. Okay, so this is so crazy. So let's go back when Trump did when he did free him early. Free Blagojevich. He freed him early. And then we're going to look at the abuse that Patty and everybody was putting on the Obamas, because they were like, you won't let him out. Well, he was trying to sell his seat. He was so you gotta be careful on what you do to people. He was trying to sell the man's seat, okay? And then Patty got mad at Obama. She was and then Blagojevich's sister was like, you ain't no saint. They was going off on Obama because he would not pardon him, but Trump did. And you know what? What do you guys think about this? What to me, would he bring Blagojevich to challenge Pritzker? You know what I mean? Following, if Pritzker decides to run as governor again, Pritzker got more money than he got. Him and Trump neck and neck. Pritzker got a lot of money. That family holds a lot of money, right? Could he bring Blagojevich back to challenge it? To make him the ambassador for Serbia and all of we gotta look into this. But let's look at when, Trump freed his bro Blagojevich right quick.
Happy Patty Blagojevich apologizing to all of the reporters and cameramen here for starting this press conference late. She joked around that she couldn't find her husband's socks. That getting a laugh out of the crowd here. Dozens and dozens of supporters are here to witness this moment, but there is no disguising the toll that Blagojevich's imprisonment has taken on his family.
It's been a long time since I've shaved with a normal razor, and it takes a little practice. I'm sorry about that. I got to keep dabbing the blood.
So I have to apologize for his tardiness. He couldn't find where I put his socks this morning.
Lots changed in the nearly 8 years that I've been here. Let me just say a couple of things. First of all, the obvious I want to state, and that I know I speak for Patty and Amy and Annie, and obviously for me. We want to express our most profound and everlasting gratitude to President Trump. How do you properly thank someone who's given you back the freedom that was stolen from you? He didn't have to do this. He's a Republican president. I was a Democratic governor. And doing this does nothing to help his politics. President Trump is a man who is tough and outspoken, but he also has a kind heart. And this is an act of kindness, and I also believe it's the beginning of the process to actually turn an injustice into a justice. Sorry about this blood. All these years away, I never stop reminding myself of the words from a poem. It's called The Gate of the Year. Go out into the darkness and put your hand into the hand of God. That shall be to you better than light and safer than a known way. It's been a long time since I've been home, nearly 8 years, nearly 3,000 days. I suppose a better way to measure how.
Patty like dab. Patty Charlie Baltimore down ass chick. Patty is down for ride, man. So he that's when Trump freed him. So let's go to when he was going to jail. Did he come close to winning the Apprentice? Let me see. Because he was not. Where did he land on the Apprentice, y'all? He was on season 3. Oh, he got fired week 4. Okay. All right. I was like, was he close? Okay. Let's go to when he was going down. Okay.
Governor Rod Blagojevich has been arrested and charged in what the U.S. Attorney's Office is calling a corruption crime spree.
Governor Blagojevich has taken us to a truly new low.
Blagojevich, a Democrat, is charged with conspiring to sell the U.S. Senate seat left vacant by President-elect Barack Obama to the highest bidder. U.S. Attorney Patrick Fitzgerald says prosecutors do not believe Obama was aware of any alleged scheming.
I should make clear the complaint makes no allegations about the president-elect whatsoever, his conduct.
Federal investigators bugged Blagojevich's campaign offices and tapped his home phone. An FBI affidavit says the governor was intercepted conspiring to sell or trade the Senate seat for personal benefits for himself or his wife. Obama resigned his seat after winning the presidential election. As governor, Blagojevich had the authority to appoint his replacement. Illinois Senator Dick Durbin is now calling for a special election to fill the seat.
I want to move as quickly as possible to let the people of Illinois be represented in the United States Senate by a replacement to Barack who can work effectively.
Blagojevich has repeatedly denied any wrongdoing.
I can tell you that whatever I say is always lawful, and the things I'm interested in doing are always lawful.
Blagojevich took office in 2003 following the tenure of former Illinois Governor George Ryan. Ryan is serving a 6-year prison term for fraud and racketeering.
Not Blagojevich following in his footsteps. Lord.
Ed Donahue, The Associated Press.
Oh, let's see what we got here. Hit the like button, you guys. Patty was like, get my man home. Get my man home. All right, let's look at this Diane Sawyer. Okay. And then we're going to go to now when he's pardoned. So what do you think that, I'm going to say it, what do Trump want to use him for? You know what I mean? What do he need him for? Because he's going to be loyal to whatever Trump say. It's obvious, and Blagojevich is not scared to do the time, okay? So let's see what's going on here. We're going through a flashback here, guys.
Testimony today in the raucous corruption trial of former Illinois Governor Rod Blagojevich. The topic, an alleged phone call from Barack Obama on the eve of his election. Here's Sharon Alfonsi.
The revelations came in court in testimony from Thomas Balanoff. Balanoff, a Chicago union official with ties to Obama and Blagojevich, was dining on seafood when his phone rang. He didn't answer. Later outside, he listened to the message. Tom, this is Barack. Give me a call. Later that night, when Balanoff was filling up his gas tank, Obama called again. According to Balanoff, Obama says he thought there were many good candidates for the Senate job and that he wouldn't be supporting anybody. But he says at the same time, Obama mentioned his friend, Valerie Jarrett, was interested, adding he preferred to have her work in the White House with him. Balanoff said he told Obama he would make a pitch to the governor for Jarrett's appointment. That story does not directly contradict what the president has said about his Senate seat in the past.
I have never spoken to the governor on this subject.
They were trying to create the impression of distance from the process. He's obviously closer than that.
Today, the White House said they would not comment on the ongoing trial. Sharon Alfonsi, ABC News, New York.
Man, really interesting. Okay, let's go to what's going on now. Yeah. You know what, Winky? That I gotta talk about that. It's a lot of that going on in Illinois. Very sad. We need to look at Serbian laws with the US. Trump wants him there to circumvent something. Yeah. What is going over there? I know he has Serbian roots, but like when the last time Blagojevich went to Serbia, he probably like, what? Okay, let's go ahead and watch this. This is Blagojevich may be considered for a Trump administration role. Let's take a look.
Former Illinois Governor Rod Blagojevich may be joining the Trump administration.
Politico says Trump might appoint him as U.S. ambassador to Serbia. Democrats serve 8 years in prison for corruption. Trump commuted his sentence in 2020. Blagojevich co-chaired Serbians for Trump in the 2024 campaign. He posted on X this week about meeting Serbia's president.
Now to breaking news. President Trump has just pardoned former Illinois Governor Rod Blagojevich. The president signed the papers a little more than 30 minutes ago and had this to say.
It's my honor to do it. I've watched him. He was set up by a lot of bad people, some of the same people that I had to deal with. I think he's just a very fine person. And this shouldn't have happened, and it shouldn't have happened to him, and let him have a normal life.
Blagojevich served 8 years of a 14-year sentence after being convicted on corruption charges for trying to sell former President Obama's U.S. Senate seat. Asked about reports that he was considering appointing Blagojevich to serve as U.S. ambassador to Serbia, the president said, no, but he might. We do have a crew outside Blagojevich's Ravenswood home. He is expected to address the media at some point this evening, and if that happens in the next half hour or so, we'll bring it to you.
Whoa. Whoa. What do y'all think about this? Let's see what else. Let's see. Let's see what else he's talking about. It's so hard for me to spell Blagojevich's name. Okay. Blagojevich. Okay. Let's see. Let's see what he's talking about. Okay. We saw ABC already. Let's see. I'm just trying to see if he went. He got a nice head of hair, don't he? Let's see what they're talking about.
Breaking news, we are updating our top story tonight. President Trump officially pardons former Illinois Governor Rod Blagojevich. We told you the president was planning to pardon Blagojevich earlier in the newscast. Now it is official. The president just signed the pardon, calling Blagojevich, quote, a very fine person. Trump commuted his 14-year sentence for political corruption charges during his first term.
Illinois, we in danger, girl. We in danger. Okay, so this is, I don't know why this just, it's happening so fast. Like, knowing Trump as a business person, right? That Trump University, Trump period, that's it. And then president, and now president again. Everything is happening so fast. And has it been 30? Has it been 30 days yet? I'm sitting here like, what is happening? So for Blagojevich to go from, like, he's been in the house knitting sweaters, not doing nothing, to possibly being the new ambassador of Serbia, getting back into politics, like just under the president's jurisdiction, if you will. This is something. Now, I want to see how many Illinois governors have gone to prison. 4 out of the last 11 governors went to prison. Okay. So they have Blagojevich as the first one, George Ryan, Rod Blagojevich, George Ryan, Daniel Walker, and Otto Kerner. Okay. This is insane. This is insane. Okay. I wanted to go to that. Let me go to one more video. Hit the like button, guys, if you're still here. I just find this really interesting. It's been a lot going on in Illinois today. Like I'm just gonna play this and then I'll talk about the next subject. It's sensitive. I'm just gonna talk about it for a second. Rod is definitely the most famous governor we have in Illinois. It's a lot going on. I remember, not to bring it about Dalton, but it does circle back to Dalton just a little bit. When I heard Lori Lightfoot say, you know how everybody was like, oh, Dalton didn't submit financial reports to the Illinois comptroller. And Lori Lightfoot out her own mouth said, like, so many towns, villages, cities in Illinois have not submitted their report. And she was saying, I don't know why the eye was on Dalton for the comptroller. This is interesting to see what will pass through in politics and what won't pass through in politics. It's very interesting. And to see how far he will go, how far Rod will get as well, now that he's basically being revived by President Trump, how far he's going to get. This is just very interesting. I just want to read a little bit about him for people that don't know. Yeah. A lot of it is, hey, Potato, how are you? Oh, Potato, you got an email coming. I'm so excited. So let's read a little bit. I agree, Winky. It's kind of weird, right? I could never like okay. I hate I have to drag Dalton into this, but when you look at what's going on in Dalton, it's so funny, right? Even here, people are so engulfed into Tiffany, the drama. By the way, why is no one talking about Tommy G coming to Dalton? He has over 5 million views on that Tiffany Henyer video, and no one's breathing a word that Tommy G has came to Dalton. And because I'm here, I saw some weird stuff going on in Dalton today. Like this whole weekend, Dalton been hot. But I saw some weird stuff going on in Dalton today. Just because, unfortunately, I have to live here. And I say that like I'm like, oh God. But I saw some weird stuff going on, right? And it's a lot going on right now that I think y'all probably gonna see this week. And I myself, I have trying to take a step away because it's getting so weird, so touchy and everything. And a lot of it has, I think that y'all gonna be surprised on how things really iron out. I think it's gonna be a lot of backpedaling happening when you get to see how things iron out, because I never realized how politics be politicking. I was like, this is really Choose Compassion had a great video. I'll link it in my description box. She had a great video about, I think it's called Psychops. I don't know if she's still here, but she had an amazing video on how fires are lit, how people get on the bandwagon. And it's so funny because I really saw some weird stuff today. And I'm like, how come no one's talking about this? Why do I have to be the first one to bring this up? And I'm not patting myself on the back. I'm just wondering, why do I have to be the first one to bring this up for anyone to start talking about it? Psyops. Thank you. Psychops is like a one eye, right? Cyclops. Psyops. Thank you. Hey, Scott. It's really weird. So has anyone, it's like stuff I saw today, I'm like, is anyone reporting on this stuff? But I was busy on another subject matter, so I really couldn't report on it. But I was like, y'all, I don't think things are gonna turn out the way you think they're gonna turn out. It's really interesting, and I just had to say that. Sorry, everything. Sorry, guys. Okay, so let's read about Rod Blagojevich right quick. So he got that full pardon, right? So let's see what landed him in this turmoil anyway. Hey, Gardis, we're talking Rod Blagojevich and Patty and the pardon. And I'm just putting my own take on it because I can't even recall if Rod was the first election governor I could vote for when I became of age. I don't recall. But I remember his signs when you went through the toll road, it would say Blagojevich. And that's all I remember, crossing it on the Illinois toll road. I don't think they do that anymore. I don't think they have the signs up. That was another thing about Illinois. When you entered the toll bridges, y'all let me know, are those still up? I remember the toll road used to have Ryan or Blagojevich name, but I can't recall it saying Pritzker name on a toll road nowadays. So we're just discussing regular politics, you guys. Oh yes, psyops. Let me put in choose compassion. Let's play a little bit of her video. I don't think she will mind. So let's talk about how Rod got into this pickle anyway, and then we're going to play a little bit of choose compassion's video. Okay, so he's been 100% pardoned. Remember, first term, Trump got him out of prison early, commuted his sentence. Second, he was on a Celebrity Apprentice. Now, don't forget, Rod Blagojevich was on the Celebrity Apprentice, one of my favorite shows, and he only made it to round 4, okay, before he was fired. And now he is completely 100% pardoned, which means he can possibly get into politics again. And Trump is thinking about allegedly allowing him to be the ambassador of Serbia. You know, he's gonna do whatever Trump say he's gonna do or want him to do, right? So it says former Illinois Governor Rod Blagojevich got a new lifeline on Thursday when President Donald Trump said he would consider pardoning or commuting his sentence on his federal corruption conviction. The opening of the door is a change in fortune for the disgraced former governor who has been serving time in federal prison in Colorado since March of 2012 on a 14-year sentence for a host of public corruption charges, including trying to solicit money for an appointment to former President Barack Obama's Senate seat after the Chicagoan won the presidency. Blagojevich was the Democratic governor of Illinois from 2003 to 2009 when he was charged with corruption and then impeached by the legislature. Over the course of 2 trials, the first of which resulted in a hung jury on all counts except lying to federal investigators, Blagojevich's famous personality was on full display, both through his testimony and the FBI recordings that were played at his trial. Blagojevich also showed his flair for showmanship and initially got to know Trump in a 4-episode stint on The Celebrity Apprentice in 2010 before his first trial. He was fired after leading his team to losing that week's challenge, as recounted at that time by Chicago Magazine. Okay, so this is what I want to know. Like, do you think, because I can't recall, so you guys let me know in the comment, do you guys think that he Trump would possibly be president? No, because because Obama did 2 terms. Right, then Trump. Maybe he just thought Trump would take care of his family financially. Because remember, Patty used to go off, man. Patty used to go off. She even asked the president at one time to Obama to make him closer to Illinois because Colorado was so far. I remember that. After the first jury was hung at 11-1 for conviction on key corruption counts, prosecutors tried again, winning the second trial and securing convictions on 17 of the 20 corruption charges, including the shakedowns related to Obama's Senate seat. Blagojevich was also convicted of shakedowns involving a children's hospital, racetrack owner, and a building executive. Wow. The trial provided for some dramatic moments, including the playing of secret recordings made of Blagojevich during shakedowns. Y'all, have y'all ever heard those tapes? I'm going to see if I can find them. Let me know if you ever heard that. So here's a quote. And perhaps the most famous tape, Blagojevich refers to the Senate seat as effing golden. And he says, quote, I've got this thing and it's effing golden. And I'm just not giving it up for effing nothing. What? Now here go our friend. Here come Jesse. At the trial, former Illinois Rep. Jesse Jackson Jr., who later pleaded guilty to charges related to misusing campaign funds, also memorably testified that Blagojevich punished him for not donating him $25,000 to Blagojevich's campaign, testifying dramatically that at a later meeting, Blagojevich snapped his fingers like Elvis and told Jackson he should have given Blagojevich that $25,000. How do Elvis snap his fingers? Do anybody know? I need to know because I love Elvis, but I can't recall how he snapped his fingers. Blagojevich later said he did not recall that happening. I know that's right. I do not recall. Let's read the comments before I continue. He's so entertaining, y'all. This is Illinois politics, the greatest showman, as Wiki said. This is crazy. Illinois might have learned not to put names of politicians on highway, bridges, streets, etc. They have to change them too often when their true lives are revealed. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna have to. We have to hear what Gardis has to say because, it's so interesting. I don't have great history on Blagojevich, but when it comes to reality show part of him, it's a mess. And then it was like Jesse Jackson Jr. and Sandy and all of these people they all got twisted into this thing because Obama became president, right? And this seat is vacant. And sometimes, like we heard of, like in Thornton Township and stuff like that, these appointments can be a mess when people are allowed to appoint people. When the leader, if you will, is allowed to fill the seat, that's when it can get sticky. That's when it can get sticky. It would be like, I'm the governor, right? And then I'm the president of Dalton, right? I'm the president of Dalton. And Gardis Watts, I got a choice to put Gardis Watts in the seat, who will be brilliant mind, fair, to be my administrator, to be the chief of staff, or I got E.J. Johnson, who's going to have the best clothes. I'm going with E.J. Johnson. I'm not putting Gardis in that seat. I'm going with EJ because he's going to have the best fashion trends. And that's where my mind is, even though it would be best for the people to put Gardis there. No, EJ, because I know he could dress me every day, period. So when appointments come about, that's what makes it so sticky. Like we saw in Thornton Township, Carmen Carlisle. What has she ever been in any kind of government support, anything? No, she just got appointed. Okay. All right. That's yes. Oh, look, I'm just gonna drop the link just in case you want to come up, Gardis. You don't have to. I don't know if you're busy. Lenny, I'm going with EJ Johnson. Yes, Gardis Watts. Yes, he has the degrees. Yes, he has the sophistication. Yes, he's a leader. But no, EJ Johnson gonna give me a discount at Bloomingdale's. Okay, I'm going with EJ. Sorry. I didn't skip the people. That's why I can't be a politician. I can't be in charge of anything. I'm selling the seat, okay, to EJ. But this is what makes it so interesting to see the loyalty that Blagojevich is going to have towards Donald Trump. Now, all this stuff going on here in Illinois will, if he becomes like part of Donald Trump's politic cabinet situation, right? Because I don't know the proper term, forgive me guys, but if he becomes like one of Donald Trump's right-hand people, how would that affect Illinois? Even if he's not the governor, would everybody just flock to him for like, hey, can you put this in? Because he knows how to get down. This time he won't be talking on the phone. He won't be texting. He gonna use one of those apps that disappear. Like, yeah. He gonna use, what's that called? The kids use. the thing the kids use to my nieces use it, Snapchat. He's gonna be like, yeah, I got this seat on because your message disappeared. That's what he's gonna do. Oh my goodness. So that's it. Oh yeah. We went over that a little bit. Well, just know that Blagojevich worked for Vadoriak and Daley at the state's attorney's office. Wow. And remember, Gardis, Patty's dad was Alderman Mel, right? From the council wars that we talked about. You and Big Mike and I talked about during the Harold Washington time. Very interesting, right? And we were saying it was this Netflix little special. And I followed this YouTuber and they covered a little bit. I gotta find it. Blagojevich had a special on this series, and they were saying how Blagojevich saw Patty, and Patty daddy was like, hey, you know, bada bing, bada boom, you married to my daughter, I'm gonna get you into politics. And look at how far he got. Isn't that interesting? Okay. So let's see if we can find. I cannot believe that this is happening. I can. I could definitely believe it's happening. I'm talking about I can't believe it. All right, let's see. Someone has. I don't want to click this. Let's see what WGN talks about. Thanks for being here, you guys. This is so interesting. Like I told you, I'm following this, and I'm following two stories right now, and I think it's a Dexter, the young man that was shot. It was like 60. I don't want to say it, 64 seconds, 94 shots. I'm working on a video on that too. Oh, we got Gardis Watts. Here you go, Winky. Hey, Gardis.
Hey, what's going on?
How are you doing today?
All right. I see y'all talking about Blagojevich. I don't know what to say. I mean, Blagojevich is generally, tied into the Democratic Party of Illinois, which is probably one of the more corrupt groups of politicians in the country. But I mean, what else is to say? I mean, I think in the comments I put down that he used to he clerked for Vadoliak and Daley while he was at the state's attorney's office. So like, what is there more to say? Because they were both anti-Washington, Harold Washington people. So
very interesting. Now, what about? Do you know anything about his father-in-law? We were talking about that situation.
His father-in-law,
Mel, who was an alderman. Patty's dad. I think it's.
Well, the thing about Blagojevich, he was tied into so many politicians. So one of the names that comes up to mind is Dan Rostakowski. I don't know if you remember him, but he got tied up in that whole U.S. mail fraud thing that got him convicted, and then he got pardoned by Clinton. But I know him and he used to be under him as well. Let me see. Let me get it exactly what I'm talking about.
Is this him? He got 36 years. Is that him?
No. He got pardoned. He got pardoned.
I'd say that's a lot.
But where's this at? It was the post office scandal.
Okay,
when they were doing ghost payrolling and stuff, and they found charges of mail fraud and stuff like that. So he was initially investigated by the United States Capitol Police in a single embezzlement charge against employees. Evidence rapidly. Yeah, this was him. And then in 2000, just before he left office, Bill Clinton pardoned Rostakowski. So Blagojevich was hanging out with him as well. So, Blago has some. he has some interesting he has some interesting connections. Oh, and I forgot about this because I'm also looking at his his Wikipedia page, and I forgot. You remember that whole thing with Yugoslavia in the 90s when they were bombing Yugoslavia because they had this guy named Milosevic. Now, what's so interesting is Blagojevich is actually an Eastern European. Was he Serbian? I think he's Serbian. His heritage is Serbian. But where is it at? Yeah, he's from Serbia. I'm sorry, he's from Serbia. And so he went over there to Belgrade with Jesse Jackson Sr. to negotiate like hostage releases from American, there were like American POWs over there. And yeah, I remember how weird that was, considering that Blagojevich has like, he has Serbian heritage. And Milosevic was over there, he was like a dictator over the Slavs, and yeah, it was a mess over there.
Wow,
it's almost equivalent to what's going on in Ukraine.
Okay. Wow, and that's what Winky was saying. What do you think about Trump appointing Blago to ambassador to Serbia?
Well, I mean, he has Serbian heritage. He has Serbian heritage, and it's basically kind of like, I don't know, because I think the Serbians are still looked at as kind of like they're kind of like in the category of Russians, because Eastern European people are they're kind of looked down on as the lowly European whites. It's interesting when you think about this dynamic of race, because even in the white race, there's a hierarchy there. And Eastern Europeans are always looked down upon as the lower class whites. So that's why Russians are always demonized. Russians, Serbians, they're always demonized as the bad Europeans. But yeah, no, I mean, yeah, that's interesting. I'm actually surprised, and I don't know what the situation was, because I thought Trump was supposed to. I thought he originally was going to pardon Blagojevich in his first term.
Right, and he
Yeah.
just commuted
He commuted
him. Yeah,
he commuted his sentence.
Yeah, and he came right back and did a part 2. So Trump said that Blagojevich was set up by some of the people that set him up. What do you think about that?
Well, I mean, the people. So Trump, Trump is like that broken clock. He'll say something correct every once in a while, and he probably was right. He probably was set up by. But you notice he never names anybody who set him up. Somebody had to set him up, but who did? Who set him up?
Mm-hmm. Now, so Jesse Jackson Jr., I remember he was waiting on a pardon from Biden. Do you think, because wasn't he kind of like in something with this? He had to testify.
Yeah, well, Blago and Jesse Jr., they ran the political streets together. So, they're all hooked in. Blago is good friends with the Jacksons.
Mm-hmm. So he would have to ask. I wonder if he'll have him, because Blagojevich was on WBBM today.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm wondering if he'll go to WVON and talk with Junior.
And he's been on. Well, Blago has been on WVON several times. Matter of fact, I think the last time I remember, so, and this actually ties into recent Dalton stuff. So, there's that video circulating with P. Ray and her support of Tiffany Henyard.
Yes.
Yeah. So she used to have a show on WVON.
Okay.
And I think she might have had Blago on there.
Wow.
If it wasn't her, I think Maze Jackson, who used to have a show on VON, was on his show.
Okay.
If I could remember. Yeah.
Okay. Because I'm like, now that Jesse Jr. has, it says Maze
Jackson.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Had him on there.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, Maze did have Blago on his show, but I thought P. Ray also had her on. Well, I don't know. Maybe P. Ray didn't. I'm not sure.
Maybe. I'm so glad I saw that video circulate around, because I hadn't watched her show, but I liked how strong she was in her beliefs. I was like, go ahead. You know?
But what's so interesting about that is many of the outsiders don't even realize that she is a staunch Republican. Like, she is like a staunch Republican. If you listen to her, she's like, she is a Trump lover. She if you listen to her show, she references Donald Trump as her Donnie, which like makes me throw up whenever she says that.
What?
Yes. She called Trump my Donnie. My Donnie is going to get these immigrants out of here. My Donnie is going to pass these laws that's going to end DEI. My Donnie. That's how she refers to Trump. And I'm like, I don't, it's like, I don't like her when she talks like that. Now, her politics doesn't bother me, even though I disagree with them. Mm-hmm. But when you start referencing people like there's some kind of term of endearment, like Donald Trump is doing you a favor, I'm like, oh, that's why I couldn't listen to her. I could not.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yes.
Well,
he calls Donald Trump my Donnie, and I'm like, oh, I'm about to throw up.
Oh my goodness. That was my first time hearing about her on the Black Excellence podcast.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't see when she said it was going to be a press conference, but I will tell you that Jesse Jackson Jr. over there with the glasses, I didn't even know that was him.
Yeah, that's
he looks really different.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he looks totally different.
Totally different. Wow. So the thing about it, I was cruising around today, Dalton, not really on purpose, and I saw all these tripods set up all over the place. And I said, oh, it must be because of early voting. But I saw other people were going to different places. They were in the center of Just Ice with like 5 different tripods today. I don't know who it was. So somebody's big is out here. And the first person I thought was maybe P. Ray, because she said it was going to be a press conference, but I didn't see anything happen. I didn't see anybody I recognized. It was people that looked very different than people that lived in Dalton that was out there. So I was just like, oh, okay, what's going on? So something big.
I was wondering when they were going to do that, because I'm pretty sure P. Ray, maybe you might get oh man, who's the guy who's convict for Trump?
Tyrone
Muhammad, because they all run in the same circle. They are running that whole like turn Chicago red type of thing. Because they everybody's fed up with Brandon Johnson, but for me, I'm like that's not going to be enough for people to vote Republican in Chicago, because Cook County is a Democratic stronghold. And while I do agree that the Democratic Party has failed us on a lot of things, going to the Republican Party is not a solution. Matter of fact, you're basically you're a slave escaping from one plantation to another if you do that. I mean, that's just my opinion, but
I have because we're going to cover this later. The Dexter, it's a Dexter Walt. I don't know why I can't get his last name right. The young man. Sorry, let me make sure. I'm sorry, you guys in the Dexter Reed. I'm so sorry. The whole Dexter Reed and the city council today, that was insane. I'm gonna cover that I don't know if you've been following that on the settlement. I gotta cover that on the next one because it's really interesting.
Oh yeah.
What's happening with city council?
Wait a minute. Hiram disagrees with me.
Hi. He said join the. He said go
join the dark side. No, I don't want to join the dark side. I don't want to join the dark side.
Hi, Hiram. Good to see you. I didn't even see that.
I don't want to join the dark side. But see, that's the thing about it. I don't when I categorize, that two-party system, which I call the duopoly, because as much as we see in the public, they do this kind of like, there's this whole thing of Democrats versus Republicans and how they don't like each other and yada yada this, yada yada that, and it's basically for me I look at them as them working together. And what they do is they do this like fake competition that, they hate each other and they do all this and do all that, but they're really not fighting against each other. Just from my standpoint, because I think it's all a sham. And I think they all agree with I think they all agree on certain policies, especially when it comes to Black folks. And now I won't go as far as saying that they're the same, because for me, they're the duopoly. They're basically they're actually the same bird, just on two different wings.
Yeah.
So, I always say that that for me, if we're going to lead the Democratic Party, we got to create our own party. We got to create our own party. We can't use the recycled parties that people have tried before and it's basically failed. Because if the the Democrats, so originally Black folks were Republicans before the whole Southern strategy, and because the party, the Republicans was the party of Lincoln, but even during that time, Lincoln wasn't really a lover of Black folks. He just wanted to end slavery, and Lincoln actually wanted to deport the ex-slaves once they were freed from bondage. Like him and several of his Republican friends really didn't want Black folks here. But the unfortunate consequences, he was assassinated, and then his vice president Andrew Johnson basically made some promises that he never kept to Black folks, and then you had they had to put the troops in the South, so these white aggressive people would stop going to war with Black folks. And then after that, Buchanan basically made a deal with the Southerners to move the troops out, and then you entered the Jim Crow era and lynching. So Republicans, even when they were the party of abolitionists of slavery, they were never friends of Black folks either. And the Democrats, during that time when they were on the opposite sides with the Democrats were the Klan. They were the party of the Klan. Yeah, they were.
Really? The Democrats? Wow.
Yeah, so think of it like this. Back in the 19th century, when you had the rise of the Republicans, which came out of
older parties like the Whig Party and stuff like that kind of died out. The Republicans were the more progressive party. So think of like the Democrats from like 30 years ago or so. That's what they were. And the Democrats were basically kind of like, well, let's look at it like this. The Democrats were more like the Trump Republicans now. And many of the former Confederates who formed the Ku Klux Klan, which started next door in Indiana, were old Confederates who were part of the Democratic Party.
And I'm only saying that because it's so I'm glad you brought that up because I'm not trying to be like make it like a whole race thing, but it was like we black vote Democrat. That's how it was where I was. It was like, okay, you black vote for the Democrats. And I was like, okay, and then instead of looking into the political party.
Yeah, because the thing is, when these parties were on our side and when black people had some modicum of political power with their united front. Because remember when we was talking about Harold Washington and how black political Chicago, stood on the united front, even though they were going up against the daily Democratic machine. Now, mind you, they, like most of the people were registered as Democrats. However, the powers within the Democratic machine structure, they were against having a black mayor. We talked about the two guys who were going against Harold Washington and the guy who was the ringleader. Oh man, what is his name? Verdoliak.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Verdoliak. They were Democrat. They were hardcore Democrats, but they were also hardcore racists as well.
Yeah, and that ties back into Blagojevich. You said clerking for Verdoliak, right?
Yeah, exactly. He clerked for Verdoliak and clerked for Daley too. So,
oh Lord, he knew how to make his connections, and I want to cover Blagojevich. I know we did a little bit for here. I'm putting it on our list because here and during the Harold Washington chat, but he was quite something. His name still comes up a lot to this day.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, Well, the thing that makes him popular is the fact that he's, the way he was prosecuted with selling the Senate seat. That was funny, considering the previous governors, especially the one that was before him, and I think that was
Ryan.
Yeah, Ryan. So like Ryan was the one that was he the one that did the kickback? He got the kickbacks for the highway bill or something like that.
Yep.
So like he was stealing money, and it was like back-to-back governors getting convicted.
Yeah, he was like following in his footsteps. Like, I'm gonna do the same thing.
And Hiram, no, I do not believe in trickle-down economics. Trickle-down economics is a farce because when the money trickles down to us, it ain't even a drop of water. It's basically evaporated.
Yeah, by the time we get it.
Yeah, by the time we get it, it's evaporated.
Man, this is something. I don't know why. I'm just so with Trump. He must not sleep because he just what's this 25% on the. I'm looking at Blagojevich, and he just charged 25% on the aluminum. And let me go back to this. Trump is signing his butt away while everybody else sleep.
Yeah, Trump is just basically kind of throwing things on the wall and see which sticks, because he knows most of these things are not going to pass or not going to gain any traction, because for one, a lot of these things are illegal. Like you cannot get rid of birthright citizenship because it is in the Constitution. And in order for somebody to change the Constitution, let's go back to civics class when we used to have to, pass the 8th grade to, in order to pass the 8th grade by law, you had to take a Constitution test.
Yeah.
In order to pass high school, you had to take a Constitution test. So you had to have a supermajority, which means 75% of the House and Congress and the states, because the states also have to vote to change the Constitution as well. And this is during a constitutional convention.
Mm-hmm.
So an executive order can never rescind what is in the Constitution. So I don't know why people are panicking over this, because of the fact that he can never get rid of birthright citizenship unless a constitutional convention is called, which, like I said, needs a supermajority. And then to change it, you need a supermajority in both House, state, Senate, and also the states, which is almost impossible because the Republicans barely have both the House and the Senate. So how do you get a supermajority, which is 75%? I don't know.
Oh my goodness. So is Trump doing a little of this for showmanship as well?
Oh, most definitely. But like I said, he's gonna try to figure out what's gonna stick and what's not, because there are certain things that he can get away with. One of the things I think he's doing is he's basically kind of testing the waters of a lot of this stuff, because I think he knows that a lot of the stuff is not going to stick. But what he is going to do, like for instance, let's take the Department of Education thing. So he wants to rescind the Department of Education. Well, you can't do that because Congress passed that law like 60, 70 years ago to create the Department of Education. So unless you can get Congress, like I said, supermajority of Congress to rescind that law, then you can do it. Other than that, it can never be rescinded by an executive order. However, he can basically eliminate certain funding and also reduce the funding, which also could probably go to the courts as well, depending on who files it and if the courts are very favorable to Trump. Now, I remember there was and I don't know if it was The Economist or maybe the Wall Street Journal or something, one of those papers. But I remember when Trump had won, they were looking at some of the court records, court appointees for the last three presidents. So we're talking about Trump, Obama, and Biden. And they found out with the federal courts, they basically had the same amount of appointees in the federal courts, because that's where a lot of the fights, basically starting in the federal courts. So a lot of the executive orders that Trump is trying to implement are dying in the federal courts, and they're just gonna die there. But what they found out was Trump, Obama, and Biden appointed roughly around the same amount of federal judges. I think Trump had like 240, Biden maybe 250, and Obama like 230 or something like that. So about the same amount. But what they did find out was there was a discrepancy in the appellate courts, so the appeals courts. So apparently Biden and Obama they appointed like maybe 100 more appointees than Trump, because I think Trump only got 50 appellate court judges. Now I say that because that's important, because when you're talking about lawsuits and trying to file, the first process is going to the appeals court. And when the appeals court, says that, the ruling stands or it has to change, that means a lot. So basically that kind of works against Trump when you're talking about the appeals court, because before he can take anything to the Supreme Court, it has to go through the appeals court. And see, many people just think that automatically you could, take those cases to the Supreme Court without going through the appellate court. And in a lot of cases, it doesn't work like that. So the appellate courts might be working in the favor of the Democrats because of the fact that they have more judges in those particular courts. Now, if anybody out here that has a law degree who's listening to me, please correct me on that if I'm wrong. Of course, in Thornton Township and Dalton, everybody is law experts.
we practice in what kind of law? Political law, electoral board law.
Yeah. It's like the municipality law. We're experts in the Open Meetings Act.
We're journalists. We all went to Harvard for journalism's.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, so anybody with a real law degree, please correct me on that. But the article did state that it was like, the appellate courts would be in favor of Democrats, even though Trump, is going to be in office and he has the same amount of appointments and he has the Supreme Court, on his side. But if it doesn't go through the process of the appellate courts, then you can never kick it up to the Supreme Court. So a lot of it is no, Harem, you're not going to get me on the Republican side. You're not going to get me on the Republican side. I'm sorry about that. You my guy, but no. My guy, no. You're not gonna get me over the dark side. But no, I think a lot of it is Trump is going to see what's going to stick, and him throwing out a lot of executive orders, because a lot of them is just worthless piece of paper. But he's going to try. He's going to try to do whatever he can to implement a lot of his policies, which require possibly, collaboration with some Democrats. But then again, he's going to have this struggle with the sanctuary cities. And I just see like this thing is, I don't see a full blown civil war, coming out of this. However, he could be setting up for one. I mean, if this continues to go on, and let's just say whoever's the next president, because obviously there's going to be a different president after this, unless he miraculously changes the Constitution where he can run again. Whoever's the next person, and I got a feeling the next person is going to be worse than him.
Really?
I just got a feeling that the next person might be worse than him, and he might be setting us up for a civil war. I don't think it's going to happen in his term, but yeah.
Well, what if he's setting up Blagojevich for presidency? Bring him on around.
And that's the whole thing. It's like, in certain countries, you cannot run for president if you are a convicted felon. And guess what's one of the few countries where you can actually run as a convicted felon?
That be here.
The United States.
Now, can you vote as a convicted felon?
Well, see, that's another thing. In some states, you can't even vote as a convicted felon. In some states, you can't.
Yeah.
Which is kind of weird, because it's like, I I'm thinking about the convicts for Trump, and I'm like, yeah, in some states you couldn't even vote for Trump, even though he's a convicted felon himself.
Yeah. It's really interesting. It's just so you guys know, if you're in Illinois, a lot of people have been saying that, like, if you're a convicted felon in Illinois, can you vote, like, regarding Dalton election? The rules say you can vote if you're in court, but no verdict has been given. You're being held while your case is in court. You're on probation. You're on parole. You can vote.
And I think there might be a state. Let me look this up, because I think there might be a state where even if you're incarcerated, you can still vote.
Yeah. I want to say, is that Illinois? Because it says you are being held in jail while your case is in court and no verdict has been given. You can still vote.
Let me see.
And a sheriff may create a temporary polling place at the county jail. Only residents currently in jail awaiting a sentencing will be able to vote in the temporary polling place. Ooh,
Okay,
this is interesting.
Yeah,
What you got, Gardis?
Maine and Vermont are the only two places where a prisoner can vote.
Now, in prison or like jail? Or does it?
Prisoners.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So you are convicted already?
Yes.
And you can vote? Wow.
Bernie Sanders actually championed this in Vermont. When Bernie Sanders championed voting rights for prisoners during a CNN town hall, he spotlighted an intensifying national debate on why going to prison means losing the right to vote. In only 2 states, Maine and Vermont, all prisoners are eligible to vote. However, some prisoners in Mississippi, Alaska, and Alabama can vote while incarcerated, depending on their convictions.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Here says, shout out to Bernie.
Yeah, shout out to Bernie.
Hey, Big Mike.
Yeah.
We're talking about the homie Blagojevich tonight.
Here's something. And then they asked, why are Vermont and Maine outliers? And they said they share several characteristics that make voting by prisoners less controversial. Incarcerated people can only vote by absentee ballot in a place where they last live. They are not counted as residents of the town that houses a prison, which means that their votes can't sway elections if they vote as a block. And unlike many states, the majority of prisoners in Maine and Vermont are white, which diffuses the racial dimension of felony disenfranchisement laws. Wow. So because Maine and Vermont has more white people in the state and they have less people in their prisons, that's why they're allowed to vote.
Whoa. This is interesting. And since we only got 20 people in the chat, hit the like button, you guys. And let's get the numbers up. And I know one way to get my numbers up, since we're talking about voting. Tiffany Hinyard. She says today is the first day for early voting. Make sure you cast your vote early today. You have 2 weeks. Details below. Please come out and support me and my team. I'm number 1 on the ballot. Now, I was coming home today. I was visiting a museum and I came home and I don't know if you passed it, Gardis, like if you have to go to the city a lot, but I usually don't have to go to the city. I usually go to Indiana a lot, but not the city. But going eastbound, coming into Dalton, Tiffany and her slate billboard is up, and going westbound, going into the city, Clean House billboard is up. Have you noticed?
Yeah. Going into the city, you'll see Clean House, and going into Dalton, you'll see Tiffany's.
Yeah, it's really interesting. I was like, that's interesting. So you can vote at Calumet City Library, you guys, or you can vote at South Suburban College Monday through Saturday 9 to 5, Sunday 10 to 4. And here's your sample ballot right here, punch number 1. Did anybody enter the chat yet? Did we get more viewers? Now, I'll tell you who I do like, and that's that Miss Tanika Hughes. And then we can get back to Blagojevich. I do like Tanika. I'm sorry. I really like her. So number 4 for Tanika. She's just a sweetie pie. Okay. So y'all, let's see. Let's see how many people enter. Oh, we got 2. That's okay. Continue. So Blagojevich has been pardoned. He's coming to Illinois. So to have Blagojevich and to have Trump is a reunion of the Celebrity Apprentice. All we need is Omarosa now.
Oh my God. I don't know if you remember when The Apprentice, before they started getting celebrities, but I remember there was one year, and this is why I stopped watching it, because there was one year there was this black guy. I can't think of his name. Let me pull it up. His name was The Apprentice.
Oh, I think I know who you're talking about, because I'm a
Randall Pickett.
Okay.
So he won in the 4th season.
Oh,
and I remember this because he was competing against this white woman named Rebecca. And at the end, when Randall got hired, Trump was suggesting, like, oh my God, Rebecca was so close. You think I should hire her too? And Randall was like, no, this is a one slot only. It's like, this is not The Apprentices. This is The Apprentice. And he was hard. He was pushing hard for him to hire Rebecca along with him as like co-winners. And at that point, I was like, yeah, I don't think I'm watching this anymore.
But you know what, Gardis? That always happens when like it's a black person that wins, like on reality shows like back in the day. And I know you probably don't. I don't know if you watch American Idol, but Ruben Studdard and Clay Aiken, they did the same thing to them.
Oh,
Ruben won, and here come Clay Aiken. He's singing everywhere. No, Ruben won.
Yeah, you know what? I do remember that controversy because everybody had thought Clay won. Not like, no, Ruben won.
Right. It's always like, do you want to, you got to shrink them on down a little bit. And then, okay, here you go. Now, wouldn't it be nice to share the spotlight? No. And that sort of made me stop watching American Idol a little bit too, because I'm like, no, I mean, Clay Aiken had a great voice, love Clay, but Ruben won. And now Clay Aiken on Broadway, and Ruben just got I'm Sorry for 2004 to this day. It just upsets me. Okay.
Yeah, he didn't have. I mean, like there wasn't actually. I remember when he won, it wasn't a lot of record labels trying to sign him.
No, they put him on 106 in Park. And that's it. Clay Aiken went all over everywhere. He got so much. And I think then Clay, I saw him on a talk show. I want to say, was he on Jennifer Hudson, who I love, but I'm trying to think. I don't know if he adopted somebody or something, but Clay Aiken, he gets way more media than Ruben Studdard. So yeah, I remember that. I definitely remember this apprentice situation.
Yeah. So after that, I was done. I was like, yeah, no, I'm not doing this anymore.
Yeah. And he was on People Mag. He was on Kelly Clarkson. That's where he was. Okay. She brought him on his show. But what about Ruben?
Winner too, right? She was a previous American Idol winner too, right?
Yeah. Her and Jennifer Hudson.
Okay.
That was some. I loved reality TV when it was like that, where your Fantasias, your Omarosas, everyone could really, really be on or a celebrity out of nowhere. Kelly Clarkson, you could be a celebrity out of nowhere. What's the girl that sang for President Obama? She was on American Idol too. She's a country singer. Carrie Underwood.
Yeah, Carrie Underwood.
And she sang, and then people were saying how she didn't She didn't even shake Obama's hand or somebody's hand. I don't even know who hand it was, but she regret singing for Trump because she didn't get enough recognition. But look at what you guys did to Chrisette Michele. Never forgave her. Her career done.
Yeah, it's like her career kind of tanked when she did that. Did it for Trump's first inauguration.
Yeah. It's crazy. What y'all wouldn't Chrisette Michele whole career, y'all won't even, but now Snoop and Nelly and whoever else could come sing for
even
Trump
though there's a video floating around with Snoop back in 2017 talking about how many of your house Negroes are gonna be, and it's so funny because I'm like, this is why you got to be careful what you see on the internet because that stuff stays out there forever.
Okay, and then here he go dropping it like it's hot for Trump.
Well, I mean, you know what? I wish I could find. See, this is one of the things that I was looking for. So back in 2020, a friend of mine had a podcast, and he used to have it on YouTube, and I was trying to find when he had me on his show.
Mm-hmm.
It was in May of 2020, and we were talking about the up and coming elections during that time, and COVID's during that time, and I was saying that Trump was going to win because I just didn't have any faith in this country.
Mm-hmm.
But then he gave a hypothetical like, okay, so let's say if Biden does win. And I just said, like, what makes you think Trump is just going to just walk out easily, even if he loses? And he started laughing. He was like, nah, if he loses, I'm like, okay, if you really think that this guy is just going to walk away easy, even if he loses, okay, if that's what y'all think about him, that's fine. And sure enough, when January 6th happened, I texted him, I was like, told you.
and didn't he, correct me if I'm wrong, didn't he not even do the White House exchange with Biden? He didn't even greet him and Melania.
No. I said that like 5 months before the election even happens. I said, even if Trump loses, what makes y'all think he's just gonna walk away, and say, okay, I lost? That man is going to keep his seat, by hook or by crook. And sure enough, that's what happened. Because remember, even during that whole process, he was talking to the Georgia state's attorney, talking about find me 45,000, 50,000 votes. Like, what is this? Make a deal or something?
Oh man, he is something else. Like, I just can't with Trump. I told my friend, she was saying, oh, the governor's about to come down there. The governor's about to come down there. And I told her, I said, I think Trump would come to Dalton before the governor would. Just for everything that's going on to like save the people. Trump would be here before, for the news cameras and everything, before the governor would.
Would Trump come down here before the governor? That's interesting. You know what? I would laugh hysterically if that happens.
It would be hilarious.
It would be hilarious.
If Trump spoke on Dalton before any of our state senators, governor, anybody else, here comes Trump with a press.
It would be hilarious. P. Ray show would be booming.
Yeah. Wyoming said it would be a good PR. Just saying, it would be great PR. Like if he came like the day before Tiffany's supposed to leave office, or if he came like before the election, it would be hilarious because he would beat everybody else.
Hiram said, I'm calling Donald right now.
Like, I know the people of Dalton, I came to save you. 25% up on all lemon pepper sales. He's gonna go all the way in. Good Lord.
I wonder if the advocates would be protesting.
It's so funny because when we were talking about today, I went to I can share. I went to Pullman, and I went to the Pullman Porter Museum, and I never to the historical. Well, it's going to be a historical land. It is a historical landmark.
It's a historical landmark already.
And I knew nothing about the Pullman Porters and all of that and what Pullman stood for. But, I'm trying to make my way to Pullman. I'm trying to make my way over to Chairman Fred Hampton Jr. on the 17th. And then I definitely want to go by Emmett Till Historical Space as well.
Mm-hmm.
Emmett and Mamie Till. But I told my friend, I said, I was on 111th in, what's that? Is that Maryland or Cottage? And I've taken a train on 115th, like most of my adult life. I would rush to get the metro, right? Mm-hmm. And so I started saying, oh my goodness, it's a lot of white people here. I'm like on 111th, like the bus stop. I'm like, what's happening? I had no idea it was a museum right there, right? Until the Historical Society told me. I got into a conversation with a group. It was a group touring the Pullman Porter station. And they were like, hey, where are you from? And I said, I'm from Dalton. And everybody went, oh my God. And they said, what's going on with that mayor out there? Oh my God. And then one thing they said was, one young man was like, yeah, the governor needs to stop it now. The governor needs to stop it right now. You guys need to protest and get the governor down there. And then I was like, wow, people really think it's that bad out here where the governor needs to come. I don't know if it is, but people from the outside, you know what I mean? And I said point blank, I said, Trump will come before the governor. The governor's not coming. Our state senator is not even coming. Senators, they're not even going to come. Yeah,
I would laugh hilariously, but I don't know if people realize that Blagojevich already made a comment a couple of months ago saying that he was going to let the federal investigation take its course.
Pritzker, yeah.
Oh yeah. I'm sorry. Did I say Blagojevich? I'm sorry.
Yeah,
but yeah, Pritzker said a couple of months ago that he was going to let the federal investigators take its course, and I'm pretty sure Kwame Raoul is agreeing with him. So who's going to pressure him to do anything, especially when, we're in early voting right now. Mm-hmm. So like what is he going to do?
Yeah.
Like what? I don't know what certain people's thinking is, but
It's
all right. I'm not going to say anything else, but
no, go ahead. Unless you feel like you need to stop. If you feel like it, stop.
Because I'll go on for a long time about how you got certain people who trying to do too much, trying to do too much. Like TOO TWO TO whatever two.
Too
much. Yeah, TU whatever. Just doing too damn much. And for somebody to just say, let's put pressure on Governor Pritzker to, you know what, Berg? I think I'm starting to agree with you that Trump is more likely to come out here than Pritzker.
Oh yeah. Pritzker's not going to be involved in this mess because it's soiled, it's tainted. It's no way. Another reason, when I visited the Pullman Museum, we saw that Pritzker, it was a plaque he had donated. I think his family organization, whatever foundation, they donated $5 million to help, that historical spot. And that's what made us talk about the governor as well, because we were standing under that spot where his name was on a plaque. And it was like, it's not that he doesn't probably care about the community or anything like that. This has become a whole circus, and we're just a small pebble. Like, why would he even want to involve in something going on? I was listening to people saying, well, now it's turned into when Tiffany gets out of office, she's going to tear everything down that she built. Well, I thought we didn't want it anyway. Like, what? What are we doing? Do we want it? Do we not want it? What are we doing? Like, it's just really, really sad. And I cannot wait for this election to go over, to finish, so this bad energy can stop. But we know it won't stop because, y'all, we know Tiffany, even if Jason wins, Tiffany's still in office for how long? 2 months, maybe? Or a month and a half?
About a
No,
month.
because we got to wait on Miss Cassandra, right?
April 1st. So yeah, and I think they get sworn in maybe later on that April or May or something like that. But I know in the township they get sworn in on the 20th of May, I think.
Okay, so yeah, she'll be losing both at the same time, basically. But I think they're gonna get Miss Cassandra Jordan Hobson. No shade to her. I think they're gonna get her not to run some kind of way. To be, because then he would his transition earlier if we don't have a primary. If we don't have anybody.
If there's nobody running, then yeah, I mean, whoever wins the primary is declared the winner. But I thought there was a Republican running in
Dalton.
From my understanding, I heard somebody say that, not unless they were referencing Cassandra, which she's not a Republican.
No, she's independent.
Yeah, but
yeah,
I thought there was a Republican and correct me if I'm wrong, but I thought a Republican was trying to run in the general election, but I might be wrong.
Oh, sorry, hold on. Like, I can't believe that we made the news today about that too. It's yeah. I think Miss Cassandra is too busy to be a mayor of Dalton. That's her only downfall. Like, she says how busy she is. I think that will be the only, like, when will you have time to run, day to day, which it could be a part-time position. It could be a part-time position, and it's really sad because a lot of people are looking for a fresh face. A lot of people are looking for that. So I'm gonna play this clip and then I'll let you go, Garda, because I'll talk your ear off. We've been long-winded. Let's play what happened today in the suburbs. Little old Dalton. Like, can you believe this, Gardis? Little old Dalton.
Oh, okay.
We're in the news every day. Okay, let's play this part.
Early voting begins today. Some of the largest suburbs casting those ballots include Aurora, Naperville, and Joliet. But perhaps one of the most watched this year will be in South suburban Dalton, where voters will be deciding whether to re-elect controversial Mayor Tiffany Henyard. She is currently under investigation by the FBI for alleged misconduct. Henyard is being challenged by Dalton Senior Village trustee Jason House. Election day, February 25th.
So I wanted to play this because Gardis said that in a flashback, you said that this would be the most watched race in history.
Mm-hmm.
And it is. And I have a question for you guys in the audience too. And I hate to say, did the alphabet people, I don't want to call their name out loud, okay? But did the feds ever come on like a microphone and say, hey, we're launching an investigation? I don't recall that. So how will we know when they are done with the investigation? All I recall is them going into Dalton and Thornton Township and getting the paperwork and doing the keeper of records. They were calling everybody down, like and Lacey and all that. But did they ever get on the microphone and announce to us that they were investigating her? And will they ever tell us when they're done?
Yeah, in typical fashion, they don't announce an investigation. They do announce convictions. So once there's a conviction, there will be a press conference. So no announcements on the investigation, but yeah, convictions. Because typically it's the federal attorney of the local area. It used to be Fitzgerald. I forgot who it is now, but they normally have a press conference when they convict somebody.
Okay. Yeah, because I was wondering. I was like, well, so just the fact that they have to say she's still being investigated, that's a stain on her.
Hiram said too, or indictments.
Okay.
So yeah, they will do a press conference on indictments as well.
Oh, once they're indicted.
Yeah, once they're indicted, yeah, they will do a press conference. But other than that, investigations now they just come in and just do they thing, and then if they find something and it's possible conviction or indictments, then they'll do a press conference.
Okay. So I'm gonna cover because we've been talking about Blagojevich and we mixed in the Apprentice and Tiffany. I'm gonna cover, and Scott, correct me if you're in or and Gardis, you're on the phone. Correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm saying Cyclops, but Psyops.
Yeah, Psyops.
Yeah. So Choose Compassion did a wonderful video about PsyOps yesterday. So I'm going to cover that next. But do you have anything to say about Blagojevich since we're here? Any final words?
No, I mean, Rob Blagojevich is he's in the he's in the line of a number of governors who, have been convicted. It's one of Illinois politics stain of governors being indicted, prosecuted, and thrown in jail, actually, or thrown in prison. But he's like one of the more interesting ones because of the fact that he was on a taped conversation.
That cracks me up. Yes, he is so interesting.
And I forgot what phone was he using. I hope he wasn't using his office phone.
They tapped his home too. Let's see. But do you think? Okay, so I know I asked you, but so he really was trying to. So when they say selling the seat, was he like? What was it? Selling for votes? Selling for money? Selling for free lunches, all you can eat buffets? Like who would win the seat? Like
well that's the whole thing. It could have been it could have been anything he was asking for. He was very vague about it. Now the thing is, because of the fact that he got a chance to appoint somebody in the seat, then it was basically kind of up for sale of who was the maybe he was asking for campaign contributions for his next run, or maybe he wanted somebody to get in that was a friend of his, like you said, votes, favors, that type of thing. No, I mean obviously you're going to do something like that, just don't use a public phone. Don't use your cell phone. Don't use anything. You're going to make these deals. Just, do like the smart criminals and, go get you a burner, with an unknown number. Maybe get somebody else to, that's the thing. Maybe get somebody else to, talk about the deal, that type of thing. You don't do that on your own. You just be like, hey, throw this out for me and see who fetches.
I know, like we were saying, he's gonna use Snapchat or something that the young kids use now to make his messages disappear. But he sure. Let me see if I got that tape. I think I have it. I'm gonna see, but I don't think he really said. Did he say it was the seat? He just said, "I got this thing." So is that why Trump said he think he was set up? I wonder. Let's see. Let's listen to it together. I think this is the tape
of the impeachment trial against Illinois Governor Rod Blagojevich, and some of the conversations that landed the governor in hot water with federal officials are revealed. Most of the recordings are being kept secret, but Illinois state senators were allowed to hear this snippet. Blagojevich and his former chief of staff seem to be talking about getting campaign contributions in exchange for signing legislation.
I talked to him about his commitment. He goes, and I said, two separate conversations. What about your commitment? He goes, Lon, I have to leave in 2 weeks, and I'm going to be gone for 2 weeks. I know that I have to have this in your hands by the end of those 2 weeks. And I said, look, there's a concern that there's going to be some skittishness if your bill gets signed because of the timeliness of the commitment. He said, absolutely not. I mean, do you want me to put some in the next quarter? I said, no. That's not my point. My point is this has all got to be in now. Good.
The Democratic governor was arrested last month on a variety of corruption charges, including trying to sell President Obama's vacated Senate seat for cash or favors.
Rod Blagojevich stated that the Senate seat, quote, is a effing valuable thing. You just don't give it away for nothing, close quote.
Instead of defending himself at the state capitol, Blagojevich, who is boycotting the trial, was doing his second round of media interviews.
Wait, you can boycott a trial?
Well, I mean, if you're not being called to testify or you're not one of the people to...
Oh, okay. So he just don't have to show. Oh, so sort of like, oh, wait, never mind. I got an example this time at Thornton Township. You don't have to you don't have to show. Okay, got it.
Yeah, unless you're, like I said, unless you're, you're on trial for murder or something like that, you can't. But
Okay.
okay, are you're gonna play the rest of the video?
Yeah, but
Okay,
now
go
I know
ahead.
I can skip traffic court according to Gardis. Yay. Okay.
Hey, look, don't quote me on that now.
I'm just joking. Here we go, guys.
In New York.
I would love to be in Springfield, Illinois today with an opportunity to bring my witnesses. And one of the best things that could clear all of this up would be if I was allowed to bring in every one of those tape conversations, not 2 or 3 or 4, but every one of those tape conversations, so that the people of Illinois can hear the full context of what I was discussing with regard to who the next U.S. Senator might be.
The Illinois House has already voted to impeach Governor Blagojevich, and the Senate's decision, Blagojevich already voted to.
Now wait a minute, Gardis. Isn't Madigan in trouble too? I see his name up here.
Oh yeah, this was before this was before Madigan's issues, because he was hiding it real good, but during that time.
Wow, isn't that something? Look, Blagojevich probably like, nah, back here now. Lord, okay.
To impeach Governor Blagojevich, and the Senate's decision could follow in a matter of days. If lawmakers vote to oust him, he could also be barred from ever holding public office in Illinois again. Ross Simpson, The Associated Press.
Wow.
So Berg, I found there's an article from the Sun-Times in 2008, and it talked about there was a federal affidavit in this whole Blagojevich investigation that states what Blagojevich was discussing on obtaining for the Senate seat. And apparently there were 4 things he was looking for: a substantial salary for himself at either a nonprofit foundation or an organized affiliated with labor unions. Number 2, placing his wife on paid corporate boards where he stipulated she might garner as much as $150,000 a year. The third one was promise of campaign funds, including cash up front. Now check this out. Number 4, a cabinet post or ambassadorship for himself. What did he just get? What did he just get an ambassadorship for?
Serbia. Whoa. Oh.
Yes, Hiram, you gotta love Illinois politics.
This is better than all my children.
You gotta enjoy Illinois politics.
Wow. And look, he got what he wanted.
He got what he wanted.
So I wonder, because I focus on like reality shows and stuff, and Blagojevich, he definitely is a reality show himself. I wonder what position this will lead Patty. And the only reason I keep bringing Patty up is because Patty was going very hard to get him out. And she kind of was saying in one of her articles, I was reading, that how people in Illinois just shunned her. So now that he has been totally pardoned, will she get her groove back now, like in the social circles again? I'm really excited to see how that's gonna go, because she was definitely put out for sure. Winky said, okay, I'm going to say I would have liked to hear the whole conversation from all the tapes. I could see a setup if context was not 100%, but this is deep. You know what? I was going to say that, Winky. I would like to hear everything too, because it's hard when you just like hate to bring it up, Tiffany Henyard and the "Be Better Have My Money" type of thing. Everybody said she was talking to the residents, but she was talking to the vendors, I believe, about paying the vendors or something like that. But how that context still was in poor taste, but how we only see a clip of that still was in poor taste, in my opinion, but how we only see a clip of that situation. So yeah, I would have liked to hear all of it. But doesn't matter now, does it, Winky? Because he moving on up.
He's moving on up.
Gardis, this has been my pleasure. Thank you for always coming in. Y'all put the light bulbs in the chat for Gardis Watts.
Oh boy.
Bringing his intelligence, because y'all know I would have been talking about reality show. And because you came on my show, I think about like bringing you on my cabinet if I was president instead of EJ Johnson because of the fashion. I would think about it.
Well, I appreciate that.
I would be a horrible politician, Gardis, because I'd be on everybody's phone, getting all type of stuff, just a mess. And this is going to be interesting to see what happens. And I really want, what do you think the Obamas feel about this? If they feel any way that he got pardoned and he might be over Serbia and all this stuff?
Well, they distanced themselves from him when he got convicted. So you ain't got to worry about the Obamas.
Yeah.
As soon as he got convicted, it was like, yeah, they distanced themselves from him, like just like they did with Reverend Wright when Obama was running.
Oh my goodness, what happened with Reverend Wright?
Oh wow, you don't remember when Obama was running? They pulled out Fox News pulled out a speech of Reverend Wright talking about goddamn America. You don't remember that?
You're talking about the Trinity pastor? I remember.
Yeah, all right. Yeah.
Oh my goodness, I forgot all about that.
And Obama was a sitting member of that church for
couldn't
years.
even get in that church once Obama started. You couldn't even get in that church.
Yeah, and then when that came out, I guess somebody from the media confronted Obama about it and like, is this your pastor? And he basically kind of like said, yeah, but I denounce him, and they had to put Reverend Wright in the corner while Obama ran.
Now wait a minute, is this something different? Reverend Jeremiah Wright's called a View host a dumb broad. What?
I don't remember.
What is Jeremiah Wright doing out here?
I don't know. What year was that?
It says 2020. It says after a disappearance from, this is Essence Magazine, you guys. And it says after a disappearance from the spotlight following President-elect Barack Obama leaving his church, the Reverend Jeremiah Wright is back and taking names according to the Chicago Sun-Times. On Sunday, he took on negative comments about him made by Elizabeth Hasselbeck, the conservative co-host of The View, and gave her the moniker Dumb Broad. What? He got a potty mouth.
I didn't see that one. I don't remember that one, but hey,
This is something. He has a potty mouth. Oh. Yeah, President Barack Obama denounced. I forgot all about about that. Sure did. He was like, "See ya."
He left Reverend Wright high and dry.
No, that was Pastor Manning talking about Obama girl and the 54. What? Pastor, what are these pastors doing?
Oh, Scott's talking about Pastor Manning. Pastor Manning is like one of them hardcore conservatives who just like hated Obama.
Uh-huh.
And I think if I could remember, he might have thought Obama was like the next Antichrist or something like that, but I don't know.
Okay. And Hiram, thank you for the super chat. Shout out to Gardis. Gardis always comes in and saves the day.
Thank you, Hiram.
Wow, this is crazy. Yeah, the Obamas know how to move around, don't they?
Oh yeah.
I wonder what happened to Valerie Jarrett. That was interesting because I know she. Where is she with the? Oh, she's still the executive officer of the Obama Foundation. I was just wondering where she landed now, especially since Obama did kind of refer her for the seat, but he wanted her in the White House. I was just wondering what happened to her. Gardis, get coffee on me. Now let me tell you something. Gardis, I have to take the 30% from YouTube. And I send I'll send you your little $10 if you need $10, Gardis. I'll send you your little $10.
I want all my money.
You have to pay taxes on that $10. Gardis, I appreciate it.
All right, I'll talk to you later.
Thank you. You have a great one. Bye.
You too. Bye.
Gardis Watts, ladies and gentlemen, he always today's been a wonderful day for me, so that just made it even better. Thank you, Hiram. He only could get Duncan with that. Okay, Hiram. We love Gardis Watts. I thought it was odd that Obama stayed in Washington after leaving the White House. Did they abandon Chicago completely? No, not according to traffic. But remember, Michelle Obama's mom passed away, and you know what? Their kids are grown. Chicago, I'm sure, is home. I forgot what happened to Michelle's brother. Is he still with us? Let me see. Craig. Okay. So Craig is still here. So I didn't ask for $10 here. I don't need your $10, okay? If you want your $10, y'all, that will forever live in my head. Thank you, Hiram. that will forever. If you need $15, I give you $15. Don't go get your food box. So, I think that, thank you again, Hiram. I think that she didn't really, the kids are grown and doing so many wonderful things. What was the rush to come back to Chicago? Maybe that's it. I don't know. But I see Michelle Obama getting back into politics down the road. Possibly. What do you guys think? After, I hope what Gardis is saying won't be right. Like, I hope no one's like super bad that comes after Trump, right? I hope that Michelle Obama jumps her hat in the ring. You know what I mean? Or someone else. I don't know. I don't know. And then Barack could be the first gentleman. Man, this is crazy. You guys have been absolutely wonderful. I'm glad we had this this small, intimate crowd today. And I appreciate y'all so much for supporting me. I just wanted to cover this part because I just thought Blagojevich, super Illinois history, right? Very charismatic. Totally, I just want to know, he totally cuts corners. It seems like he cut corners and he knows how to shake hands and he knows how to climb a ladder. Thank you to Gardis for explaining how he was with Vadoriak. I hope I'm saying it right. And also with riding with the daily machine, right? And he knows how to make his way. So if he gets an inkling to get close into the White House, and I think Winky said it too, could this be a connection, trying to get over to Russia, Serbia, Russia, trying to just expand over in that way? If he gets connections in the White House, he could climb his way up and it's no telling what he'll do. But this definitely put him and Patty, Illinois is buzzing. This put him and Patty back to being invited into these social circles that they were cut out of. And just because I'm a big reality show person and stuff like that, I followed Patty Blagojevich a lot just to see what was going on. And she always said how people abandoned her. Now look at her now. I wonder what's going to happen in the year to come. I appreciate you guys. Oh, gotta say, I forgot to mention that Pritzker is going to run on the Democratic ticket in 2028. This is why he's focusing in on Trump and ignoring Dalton. Now, okay, it was this. Oh, Goddess, I've been doing my research. They were saying it's this political analysis person. He says, do I have it? I might have saved it. He was saying how he doesn't know if Pritzker going to run for governor again. He might have his eye on the White House. Is that what you mean? Let me see if I can find it. And he was saying how that's going to shift everybody. It's gonna like shift everybody if he make a run to the White House, because they said that I think I have it correctly. I'll have to cover this later. I'm hoping I have it. Let me see if I have it here, because I couldn't believe it. They were saying how it's going to actually start a big sort of tiff in Illinois, because a fight in Illinois, because the governor's seat does not come up like freely that often. And they were saying there's going to be a lot of people shifting around. And yeah, okay. Thank you. That's what you were talking about. He's going to have to compete with Gavin Newsom. Oh, thank you, Gardis. Yeah, they were saying Illinois is going to be because wasn't Kamala, she was considering Pritzker, right, for vice president at one time. Do you think she would have gotten further if Pritzker was vice president? I don't know. I don't know much about Pritzker, but I was just wondering, like, do you think she would have got further with him? But yeah, they said Illinois gonna be in 2028. We're gonna be in a tizzy because he is going to leave. He's trying to make his way into the White House, and that's gonna leave everyone trying to do that lateral move in Illinois, and it's gonna be a lot of people beefing for that seat. Cory Booker. Oh yeah, I like Cory Booker. But somebody I knew, like in reality TV, was dating him or something. I can't even remember who it was. But yeah, that's going to be interesting. And you know what? It was this man. Sorry guys, hold on. So this is the thing. When you get on like Chris Christie, okay, that's what I wanted to say. They try to compare. They were saying like the people who are superficial, they were trying to compare Pritzker and Chris Christie, and like how they're comparing them like just based on weight and how that appeals to if people vote for you or not. Isn't that sad? Like people just if he want to be president, they're looking at him based on his weight. That's why a lot of people that run for office, they start to lose a lot of weight, because people are always looking at your appearance and judging you on it. And I think that's really sad. I don't think that should be the case. Because that's just, I always say that's how you made, or that's, whatever, however God wants you to be at, you shouldn't have to do it just, do it for health, not for people perception of you. And I think that kind of sucks. So would he make it as the president of the United States if people have to judge him? Because have we ever had someone that's plus size as a president? It's really sad. It's really sad. Bye, Hiram. Thank you for everything. Gavin Newsom. A lot of people do like Gavin Newsom. Let me look him up. Yeah, and I just hate that. Like oh, and he's young. Okay, Gavin. Okay. All right now. Now this is what you do when you do a photo shoot. This right here. Okay. I'm for it. If you got to base people, I just hate that stuff be with people with it has to be you judged on your appearance. But that people do judge you on your appearance, and I just hate that. Like, not what they do. The current one in office is plus. Trump Trump is plus size. Oh my goodness, that made me laugh. Yeah, I'm like, what's going on? Like, what's going on? Like, I just hope, but I don't know. Things are changing. Illinois, we in danger, girl. I just wanted to come in over here and talk about. We were long-winded. We'll talk about the politics.
Can I be recognized, Mayor?
You want to be long-winded? I'm just asking.
Make no mistake.
I appreciate y'all so much. Now, I'm going to be looking out for Blagojevich when he does, because they were waiting outside his house today. And I don't know if Patty told them to leave, because, Patty will tell you to get out. Oh, Gardis, isn't Blagojevich and Mayor, former Mayor Lightfoot neighbors? Aren't they neighbors? I think they're in the same area. They live in the same area. And let me see. Let me see if I got this. I want to see. Did he come outside? No, I don't have nothing yet. I was seeing if he came outside yet. Well, he's free. He got his freedom. He's about to get back in politics. He's going to be walking around the White House. This is very interesting. He said he was set up. All right, guys, we will watch this and we out. I mean, full and unconditional. Give it to Jesse Jackson Jr. too. Biden kind of didn't give Jesse Jackson what he asked for. Jesse Jackson Jr. what he asked for. Go on Trump and give it to Jesse Jackson Jr. and Sandy. They didn't mean it. Thank you, Winky. Ooh. That sort of sound like the Wyoming. That sound like where Gardis was talking about the guy that was going to win mayor of Chicago, and then he did not come out with the snow plows and stuff. Like, he was up to be mayor, but he didn't come out with the stuff for the people, and they changed their vote. All right, let's look at the unconditional. This is unconditional love that Trump gave to Blago. Okay. Thank you, you guys. Oh, we made our $20 goal. Thanks to Hiram. Thank you so much. All right, you guys, let's watch. Well, Gardis gets $7 of that. Thank you, Gardis.
We have a full and unconditional pardon for former Governor Rod Blagojevich of the state of Illinois.
Good. It's my honor to do it. I've watched him. He was set up by a lot of bad people, some of the same people that I had to deal with. He wasn't quite as successful, but he had somebody that saw what was going on. I didn't know him other than I believe he was on The Apprentice for a little while. He was just a very nice person. He had a fantastic wife. She fought like hell to get him out. He was given a sentence of like 18 years. And it was a sort of a terrible injustice. They just were after him. They go after a lot of people. These are bad people, the other side. So I think he's just a very fine person. And this shouldn't have happened, and it shouldn't have happened to him. And let him have a normal life and let him go out and do what he has to do. So I'm signing this as a full pardon. Rod Blagojevich.
Mr. President, are you considering him for ambassador to Serbia?
No, but I would. I mean, he's now cleaner than anybody in this room. He got a pardon. He's cleaner than anybody in the room.
Ladies and gentlemen, the nation's highest profile.
Commentary blue, commentary, burgundy, commentary, commentary blue, commentary, comment,